Hey guys, and welcome back to That LP Show. The name of the game is Sonic Lost World. Last time, we arrived in Tropical Coast and stumbled upon the fruit garden of the oldest member of the Deadly Six, the founding member of the Deadly Six, Master Zik, and we got into a confrontation with him and he ran off. Also, our animal count is 1492, which is the year Columbus sailed the world in search of Japan, and we didn't have Google Maps back then, so he found other worlds and did horrible, horrible things to the indigenous people, which makes me wonder why we celebrate Columbus Day. He wasn't even really the first person to discover this country. It was Amerigo Vespucci. Why am I asking all of these questions during a Sonic Lost World Let's Play? Anyway, let's try to get back on topic here. The Deadly Six. A lot of people see them as very, one-note character archetypes, and that may be true on the surface, but if you're paying attention, you'll see different hints at other sides to the Deadly Six, other aspects of their personalities, their likes, their dislikes. For example, in the most recent stage that we were in, it took place in a giant world full of fruit. Well, that is actually Master Zik's fruit garden. He likes to garden, and he even mentions it in a prior cutscene. He says that, looks like my peaceful days of tending to my garden will have to wait. He was referring to that giant fruit garden that we were running through. So, yeah, the Deadly Six, their personalities are kind of explained. They just, they just don't spout exposition and waste, space with pointless cutscenes. It's an example of show, not tell. Just like with that candy-themed stage in Desert Ruins. It's very possible that Zomom collected a bunch of food or made a bunch of food. Who says that he can't cook giant pancakes? By the way, you don't want to spend too much time on these red rails right here because they do slow you down. And look at that! That was a smooth transition from, 3D to side-scrolling semi-2D. It's still kind of going at an angle here. Anyway, loving the music in this stage. Loving the music. It's probably one of the best tracks in the game, and I think a lot of people agree with me on that one. Also, to the aesthetics, it gives me a real Sonic Colors vibe. Kind of like a cross between, what was that place? Aquarium Park, especially this part right here, and all of the machinery that's all over the place. That actually kind of reminds me of the more industrialized areas of Planet Wisp. Also, these green, ooh, there's my thumbnail right there. I love that shot. Anyway, these green rails, in polar opposite to the red rails, these ones actually speed you up, so sometimes you want to use the red ones. There's another stage just like this one, but much harder later on in the game, and there's a few areas in which you actually do want to slow down. But, yeah, want me to blow your mind with something? I can even contextualize this stage and explain why it's here and what it's doing. It's a large water pipeline. This is the irrigation system for the tropical coast. This is where the water comes from for all of those juice shooters in Tropical Coast Zone 2. This is how Master Zik gets water to his fruit garden. And honestly, it's not very far-fetched to imagine the Zeddy building all of this themselves. They are technopaths. They can control technology with their minds. Also, those carts with the red spikes that I just passed up. Don't hit those. They are one-hit kills. And I've been rambling on and haven't really explained how these stages work. There's not really much to it. It's a rail section. Yeah, it's pretty easy to switch from rail to rail in this one because it works just like with the other tubular stages, even though I much prefer radical stages. So all you have to do is really, when you want to switch to a rail, it doesn't automatically snap to it like it does in well, it doesn't really do that in too many Sonic games. I think Shadow the Hedgehog is the only one that I can really think of where it does that, and that game sucks. But, there we go. Gotta time that perfectly. I don't always make that. Anyway, yeah, you jump towards a rail, just as long as you're hovering over it, the natural, outward pulling gravity will actually, bring you down towards the rail. Outward pulling gravity. I don't know. It's weird. You know how in these tubular stages, the the gravity goes outward, not inward. It's hard to explain. And that's probably because scientifically it's complete bullshit and can't actually be explained. But whatever, video game. Oh, by the way, that entire stage that we just went through, every single red ring is hit or miss. If you're going for the red rings and you miss it, die. Kill yourself, or, you know, exit the stage and try again. And, you know, Tails isn't doing anything, and he did fix the tornado. What's stopping him from going down there and saving Knuckles and Amy? Hell, if anything, we could use the extra help taking on the Zeddy. I mean, it's not like Knuckles is doing anything. It's not like he has an ancient responsibility bequeathed on him by the last of his people to, you know, stay constantly vigilant in protecting the Master Emerald. Oh no. I think the Master Emerald just kind of stopped being a thing after Sonic Adventure 2. Have they even mentioned it? I can't remember if they mentioned it in Sonic Heroes or Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't think they did. I think it just kind of stopped being a thing.
Oh, someone's gonna get taken to school, all right.
Follow, if you dare.
I'd fight you here right now, but we need an excuse for you to go through another level.
Okay, so this is Tropical Coast Zone 4, and if this game wasn't reminding you of Super Mario Galaxy before, well, just take a look at it. We've got more giant fruit on some spherical planets, and we got another orange wisp that we get for destroying those enemies right there. This is another stage where you got to be careful with the orange wisp because, you know, if you're not positioned correctly, you stand a good chance of rocketing off into the horizon and you'll die. Good rule of thumb is just use the rocket where it spawns, so you'll be in a position to where you can fire to another planetoid or another platform. Ah, crap. Anyway, yeah, we have these chicken robots here. I think their name is Cluck. Yeah, you wanna push that giant pineapple towards them. It just kind of runs away from you, and you crush them all, and then you get another orange rocket. I guess we could shoot to that planetoid over there if we wanted to, but you can also shoot to these balloons, and they'll send you off. They'll put you in these cannons that are inside the balloons. No, know really how they got in there, but whatever. Video game. A Sonic video game to be at that, so if you start questioning the logic in these, or I mean seriously questioning the logic in these, you're drifting off into insanity territory. Anyway, good place to get some rings on this little planetoid right here, which if you're playing the pre-patched version, which you shouldn't be, that's absolutely useless. Yeah, you know what? With how many rings that they put throughout this entire game, and so many hidden areas, and, you know, far off little nooks and crannies of each of these stages that have hidden rings, I have to think that releasing this game initially without the ability to get an extra life from gathering 100 rings, I mean, I think they intended to do that the entire time, but Sega rushed the development team and said, no, it's good, release it now, just patch it later, because, well, Sega does that to Sonic Team. They've done that for ages. That's why for the longest time you'd always have Sonic games that, you know, are a glitchy mess. Which fortunately this game isn't. It runs pretty well. Like I said, there's only one glitch that I can think of, and I mentioned it before. It's the one where if those grabbers grab you, you can end up in the Z-axis on a 2D stage, but I've only heard of that one. I've never actually seen it. It's never actually happened to me. Bottom line is, Sonic 06 could have been a good game. It's just that Sega didn't let Sonic Team finish it. Actually, I've heard a few things about it. I heard that the QA staff tried to tell them that it wasn't good to go, and they were just in such a rush that they're all like, nope, it's ready to go, you're fired. And I screwed up twice on a red ring that's coming up. That's why you saw that crossfade there. All right, it's coming up right here. This one could be a little bit tricky. you have these teetering platforms, so keep your balance. Now, in order to get up there and time it perfectly, yeah, you got to time it perfectly. What I kept doing is accidentally homing attacking that spike enemy before he shot off his spike. So, of course, I would come into contact with the spike, and then it would knock me off. And then once you already kill that enemy jumping up and down in the water, you've pretty much lost your opportunity to get back up there. So, yeah, gotta kill yourself on purpose if you want that red ring. Anyway, another thing that I heard about Sonic 06 is that they did have it completely up and running without crazy glitches and stuff, but I guess it would keep crashing, so they reverted back to a previous version and released that, which, honestly, that's kind of stupid. I mean, they almost had it running, they just needed to stabilize it. Anyway, bottom line is, stop rushing Sonic Team with crap, Sega. I mean, come on, you'd have more money if you made better games. And that giant fish that was just chasing us? That doesn't look like one of Eggman's robots. Doesn't look like a robot at all. I guess the only logical conclusion is, it is a Zeddy. Some form of Zeddy. That's right, I said a Zeddy. The Deadly Six aren't the only ones, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. Zeddys are just the indigenous life forms of the Lost Hex, the indigens, if you will. Sorry, I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, so yeah, I'm lucky I even got around to recording this. Yeah, but if you see those giant fish, they have similar eyes and similar teeth to some of the Deadly Six, which leads me to believe that they're similar to the Deadly Six themselves, in the sense that, you know, the Lost Hex seems to have, like, you know, similar, you know, biology with all of the indigenous life forms. The animals that we're rescuing aren't native to the Lost Hex. They were brought up here by Eggman. Some of them are intelligent life forms like the Deadly Six. Other Zeddy are animal-type life forms, kind of like how, you know, we have man and then we have apes. Then again, man actually is a type of ape. We're all hominoidea. I'd really like for them to expand on the Zeddy in future Sonic games, you know, because we haven't even established that all Zeddy are evil. There could be some good Zeddy who, you know, didn't want to join the Deadly Six, and that would be interesting. They could really help Sonic and Tails, you know, take on Eggman in future games, especially since they're able to control electromagnetic fields. They can control mechs.
We have a mutual problem. One so large that it will take both of us to overcome.
Whatever. I told you
Was that semicolon really necessary? That second part kind of seemed like an independent clause in and of itself. It could have been its own sentence. Sorry, I'm trailing off into language arts territory. I've been trying to help my son with his language arts. He has a D right now. Anyway, Sonic Lost World Let's Play. Stay on topic, Mike.
It can't be shut off. It will drain our world dry.
Oh, so that's what Amy was talking about.
And you just want to go smash it, don't you?
Well, yeah. What? It's what I do.
Oh, always your answer to everything, Hedgehog. If you wish to create a cataclysmic explosion that will incinerate everything within 100 miles, please smash away.
Well, he didn't seem to have any regard to where the Death Egg might land when he blew that thing up.
I need to get to the machine and reprogram the shutdown sequence. I'll supply the brains. You will supply
Oh, thanks for the game of charades back there, Orbot. Our hearing impaired wouldn't know what to do. It's not like we have subtitles.
Man up, Tails. I don't like working with my most hated enemies any more than you do.
Because it's totally never happened before, right?
Well, teaming up with you feels like the end of the world, Eggman. I'm gonna want to take a long shower by the time we're done.
Okay, normally this is where I would end the part, but as you can see, we have an extra hidden zone here in Tropical Coast. I'm not 100% sure how exactly it's unlocked. I do know that you need all of the red rings up to this point. You also need a certain amount of animals, though I don't know exactly how many. I think over 1,100. I'm not sure, though, and I've looked all over the internet, and nobody seems to have a definitive answer. Anyway, in this stage, you're flying or gliding somehow due to the Lost Hex and its its strange form of gravity. You're not actually falling down, you're falling up, but judging from like the layout of the stage, you're actually kind of upside down in relation to the Lost Hex because it's spherical. It's weird. Anyway, if you just let go of the controls, you slowly float up and to the up and to the left. And you could force yourself to move forward by, of course, holding forward. And if you want to descend, you just hold the A button and Sonic will curl up into his ball form and he'll start floating down. And that's how you kill enemies, as per usual. And I screwed up. One thing you want to be careful, you can float all the way to the top of the screen, not a problem. However, you can, as weird as it sounds, fall up and die. If you hold the A button down too long and you float all the way down to the bottom of the screen and off the screen, you will die just the same as if you were to fall into a bottomless pit. And that's what happened to me because of this section coming up right here with this giant bird, robot, fish thing. Anyway, yeah, you want to carefully go underneath it. I got a little carried away and went too far down, and that's why you saw a crossfade after that checkpoint. And I said fall up instead of fall down, of course, because for the majority of the stage, the land is above you. So when you fall down, you're technically falling up into the sky, except for that one last platform, which decided to shift gravity over because I don't know if they know how to program a upside down animal capsule. Anyway, that is it for Tropical Coast. Next, we will be moving on to an ice stage, my favorite. But that's going to have to wait until next time. And until next time, thank you for watching That LP Show, and have a one that is good.